Check out Delano 3 Creations on Etsy for inspirational apparel and accessories designed, produced, and distributed by a father-daughter duo from right here in Central Pennsylvania area. If you have a design in need for a family reunion, church event, birthday, or just because, consult with Delano 3 Creations on Etsy for more information.
Go on YouTube and hit that like and subscribe button. It's only free 99.
Wait, hold up. Free 99?
Free 99.
So wait, what app are we on?
We're on YouTube,
Spotify?
Spotify,
Google Podcasts?
Google Podcast.
Wait, where else at?
We're on multiple platforms. How do they reach us? All they have to do is search the SkyBoxx.
Welcome to SkyBoxx.
It's me, Michael C., the source of life over the mic. My guest and I will share our stories and our experiences. If you have any thoughts, questions, or concerns, hit me up at the number one, SkyBoxx at gmail.com. If you're on your favorite podcast app or YouTube, all you have to do is search the SkyBoxx. And if you're on YouTube, click that like and subscribe button. It's only $3.99. And if you're on Facebook, all you have to do is search me, Michael C. or Michael Curtis, Micheal Curtis. On the show today we have my guy. I brought him back, the basketball guru himself, Malibu Mooch. We talk about the NBA playoffs, and we get back into that Kobe versus Jordan versus LeBron talk, and much more. Sit back and relax. I'm guaranteed this is going to be a good one. Let's go get it.
We're back. I got my guy, the sports guru, basketball guru himself, Malibu Mooch. What's good with you, baby?
What's up, brother? Thanks for having me back. The sports guru had to come back and tell you guys about basketball and things like that,
You already know what it is, man. NBA playoffs are coming soon, starting on Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
Playing game, you already know what it is. We're going to talk a lot about that, you know what I mean, and more, you know what I mean. So, you know what I mean, we're just going, like I said, let's just get right into it. Let's get into the hot stuff. Let's get into the hot stuff, y'all. Let's get into the hot stuff. All right. And, as the playoffs is coming right around the corner.
Absolutely.
I mean, who you like out in the East and who you like out West?
So, well, in the East, man, it's going to be a battle, they decided to construct a team up there in Brooklyn Nets. They tried to get James Harden to complement Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving and things like that. But really the only reason they did that is they're worried about a 37-year-old LeBron James. But they're a good team. They play well together. But I just don't think that they're coming out the East. They got to watch that Milwaukee Bucks with Antetokounmpo and
Giannis.
Yeah, Giannis. And then they got to watch the Sixers with Joel Embiid and things like that. So it's kind of hard to say who's coming out, but it's definitely not going to be the Brooklyn Nets. I think it's going to either be between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Philadelphia 76ers.
Can I throw one team out there? I just want to throw them out there and see
Sure.
if you. New York Knicks, baby. What's up?
The New York Knicks, man. They're an average team. They're coming along. They picked up a great star in Julius Randle. They have an old veteran, D Rose, who can still give you
Savvy veteran,
yeah. As I would say back in the day, you gotta have a couple savvy vets on your team. But I just don't think that they're gonna get it done in a 7-game series. If you actually watch some of their games, like we'll take the one last night when they played against the Los Angeles Lakers. They had 2 guys in double figures, man. One guy at 31, the other guy at 27. All the rest of the bums didn't even score double figures. And you think the team's supposed to be scared of them in the playoffs?
And the game was less than under 100. Yeah, you better be scared of us.
Come on, man.
We are
You're playing.
We are one of the best defensive teams in the
You're
league.
playing without a Dennis Schroeder and the greatest player ever.
Yeah, but that's not our problem. That's not our fault.
No, you're right. It's not your fault. But I mean, when you have 9 of your other bums that can't score over double figures.
But again, see what we did. Almost won that game. We should have won. Almost doesn't mean that you won.
Everybody knows almost doesn't count.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. You're right about that. But so you pretty much telling me out of who you
Out in the West,
yeah.
there's a team that everybody is counting out, because they're going to have to play a playing game. But that's only because the two players on that team.
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that.
So
we're gonna get to that play in.
The team coming out of the West is the Los Angeles Lakers.
Okay, so you like the Lakers versus the Bucks, or the Lakers versus the
Philadelphia 76ers.
Okay. All right. Me personally, I do like the Lakers, but where they're at right now is kind of. I don't know yet, but with healthy LeBron James, I'd say the Lakers are gonna come out regardless of what happens.
You're right. I'm saying, but later on, I'm gonna let them know that we have a saying to that, like we're actually happy that we're in the playing game.
Well, we'll see. All right. Next one, I want to ask you, MVP. Who you like in MVP? And be real.
My MVP, my MVP, man, it's not the greatest player, but at the end of the day, I might have to go. Even though I don't really want to say this guy, I might have to go with Julius Randle, of the Knicks. I mean, they haven't made the playoffs since 2012, 2013, and they're actually right now the 5th or 6th seed in the East. So I feel like you take him off that team. Like I said earlier, Derrick Rose had 27, he had 31, and all the rest of the team had 8 and under. So you take him off that team, and they're not even in playoff contention.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, man.
No problem. I gotta keep it real, man.
I really appreciate it.
I told you, I'm a sports guru, man. I'm gonna just keep
appreciate the love.
I'm gonna just keep it real
Appreciate
with
the
you.
love. Appreciate the love, man. I really do.
I'm just keep it real with you.
All right, MVP. My way. I'm gonna still stick with what I've been saying for the last couple of weeks. I'll still stick with the Joker, but I do like what you said with Julius Randle. I think Julius Randle should definitely be in the talks. Definitely be in the talks.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
I mean, he may not get it, but I'm just saying, I'm just going off of what the team that hasn't made the playoffs since 2012. He's clearly the best player on the Knicks team. So, and I just feel like you take him off that team, it's just Derrick Rose scoring double figures, and they don't go anywhere.
Yeah, I agree. What team is under the radar? We're looking at the whole league right now. What team do you see is under the radar right now?
The Los Angeles Lakers. Or under the radar.
How can you be you're not if you're the champs, you're not under the radar.
You are under the radar
No,
because they're talking about us having to be a playing game, and there's a possibility that we play one of these teams that aren't that good and we lose and things like that. So clearly you're under the radar. LeBron James said it now. He was like, us being in a playing game has a lot of people counting the Los Angeles Lakers out.
All right, here we go. I mean, since you've been waiting for this question for the longest time, I'm just going to give it to you. If the Lakers play in the playing game, what team do they not want to play in the play? And I really need you to be serious about this one.
I'm going to be as serious as I can, man. But, like I said, again, me being, we've been homies for years, so you know how it is, man. You know what we say. Get bums out of here. We don't care who we playing in the playing game. It could be the Warriors. It could be Cedar Cliff. It could be, it doesn't matter who we play, man. We have the best player in the world on our team. He's better than everybody.
So you don't care.
So it doesn't matter. A healthy LeBron James is dangerous. People don't understand that. They're mad because he keeps sitting out. Sitting out for a reason. When he comes back, he's 0 dark 30 and we're winning another title.
And this is how I look at this. That's this thing with LeBron sitting out and stuff. People are saying, well, he's sitting out. I'm like, all right, well, I think it was said best on one of the shows on ESPN. And they said, if he's sitting out, that kind of, you should be sitting down. He should be in the booth, right? I'm like, yeah, he should be in the booth. But the man is walking around like there's no problem. So the high ankle sprain I think is okay. I think possible. And he's going to be all right. He's resting up, and he's just taking whatever's coming to him, pretty much.
Well, speaking on that, once again, as a sports guru and as an athlete myself, you know what I mean? Ankle injury is dangerous. You know what I mean? It's not like you recover so you can walk around. You might feel great walking around. You might even feel great going up and down steps. But as soon as you decide that you want to start cutting and jumping and all that, you feel a twinge or a tweak in your ankle, and that means you're not right. So for people to sit there and say, oh, he's walking around, he has no boot on, that obviously clearly doesn't mean that they don't understand basketball, and they must not have never had a severe high ankle sprain or any type of sports injury. It's not that easy to come back. Like, you can walk around, you can shoot jump shots and all the types you want, but as soon as you get in game speed and you're running, you got to do a quick cut, a quick turn, you still might feel some sharp pain, in your ankle. And as they were saying, for us to be playing the playing game, he has to be 100%. You can't have any tweaks or any sharp pains and things like that. So, the team is starting to come together and play. So it's like, why force myself to come back? We already have established that we're probably going to play the playing game. So you just rest him until it's time to play the playing game.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. Definitely agree. You're right.
You know?
You're right. You actually have some knowledge to you when you really want to. Like, when you really get into that brain of yours, you make some sense.
That's good, man. I know.
You make some sense, man.
When it comes to this is what I do.
Oh,
you know what I mean? When I come to this is what I do.
I give you a little credit, and then the next thing you know, you just take it to a whole different level.
This is what I do, man. You know what I mean?
Hey, you're right. You got it. You got it. You got it.
That's what I do, man.
You got it, man. You got it. I'm going to name 4 players, and I'm going from now until the end of their career. You got to tell me how many championships and MVPs do they earn. I'm just going to go down one at a time. Dame Dollars.
0 championships. 0 MVPs.
Steph Curry.
0 championships. Maybe 1 or 2 more MVPs.
Greek Freak.
Probably 2 MVPs and maybe 1 title.
James Harden.
MVPs, no titles.
And I'm going to throw a wild card in there. Bradley Beal.
Bradley Beal has to leave Washington. Bradley Beal leaves Washington. Bradley Beal could be a champion and possibly, he might not be an all-star because he's going to have to go to a championship contender team.
All right, so you're saying no MVPs.
Probably not any MVPs.
All right. I'll go with that. I like that. We're going back to what everybody, there's a few times I've been on this show. I've been hearing about the basketball guru.
Yeah.
And, he really started through the conversation of you-know-who. The 3 you-know-who's. You know what I'm talking about. LeBron James, Kobe.
Michael Jordan.
There you go. I just want to hear you say it.
Okay.
I just want to hear you say it.
So
I'm going to tell you.
So what are we getting at now?
All right, what we're getting at is, I've heard of a couple points, and I want you to listen to these points, and I want you to hear one point that I had before. It might stir you a little bit, guide you back a little bit, okay?
All right. Yeah.
I told you I do agree with what you said with the longevity.
Yes.
I agree with you with all that. I agree with you also with, at the end of the day, he's going to be, without a shadow of a doubt, number 1 in a lot of categories, including scoring. Michael is number 3. Dwayne Wade said on, shout out to I Am Athlete, you already know what it is, that this is how I'm going to look at it. Just the way he said it, put it perfectly. When I was little, how I started to play basketball is when I looked on the TV, I saw this man, number 23, play for Chicago Bulls, do things with a basketball I have never seen done before. it made me go out and emulate what he was doing. Slam dunk contest on the side, pow, all that.
Yeah.
The Jordan, Elo, not the three, but the shot to win the game in Cleveland. That's what inspired me to playing basketball. So he's always going to be my GOAT. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm comprehending.
Okay. The next point of it is this. Since 2010, this argument has occurred, correct?
Correct.
A GOAT has to have resume to resume, correct? When it's all said and done.
At the end of the day, yes.
Yes. We're comparing a guy's resume that has not taken off the jersey yet. Since 2010. LeBron James is in a conversation and his resume's not even done yet. So why are we still having that conversation? Because that conversation cannot be...
Go on YouTube and hit that like and subscribe button. It's only $3.99.
$3.99. Are you only on YouTube?
Nope.
Spotify?
Absolutely.
Google Podcasts?
Correct.
Anchor?
Uh-huh.
So you're on many platforms.
Correct.
So how do we find you?
All you have to do is search
The
SkyBoxx.
really talked about until he retires.
Well, I disagree with that 100%. So as you were saying, we all grew up around the Mike era. I grew up, I seen Mike had the tongue out, the bald head. I mean, when I was little, I could grow hair and get bald heads and get 23 because I wanted to be like Michael Jordan. You know, he was a great player. I mean, I'm never going to say he wasn't good, and Michael Jordan was great. But, man, I'll tell you this. When you got a guy, man, when you retire for 3 years and you have one of your 50 greatest take you to the Eastern Conference Finals, I can't sit here and say that you're a GOAT, because you never done with LeBron. LeBron James took some bums. In 2007, 8, 6, whatever, one of them years, he took some bums to the finals.
Agreed.
He got swept, but he took Boobie Gibson, guys that play on 6 and Emerald. Like, he's taking those guys to the NBA Finals, man. You want to sit here and tell me that Michael Jordan's better than him and he had one of the 50 greatest players on his team for how many years?
Yeah, I agree with all that.
I mean, for how many years? I mean, LeBron had to struggle in Cleveland with bums for 10 years, and then finally go to Miami where he had an all-star. Or one of the 50 greats, if you want to say that. But you can't keep sitting here and saying that Michael Jordan's this GOAT when he retired from NBA basketball, and there was another guy that was on his team that took that team to the Eastern Conference Finals. LeBron James didn't have that. On no teams that he plays on, if LeBron James does not play, they may not make the playoffs. It was never like that with Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan didn't play. They still had guys that would at least get them to the playoffs. You look on every team that LeBron played on, maybe except for Miami and
I was just about to tell
the
you
team
that.
he's on now.
I was just about to tell you that when LeBron left for Miami, they still made the playoffs with D-Wade. Let's not get that twisted.
1 year.
It doesn't matter. Let's not get that twisted. Let's not get
hold
that
on,
twisted.
Hold on, but we gotta say, playoffs and Eastern Conference Finals are two totally different things.
Agreed.
Like, I don't tell my team, hey, let's go. We're playing the regular season to get knocked out in the first round. No, we're playing to win it.
I agree.
But Scottie Pippen didn't lose in the first round. He took them to the Eastern Conference Finals.
I agree.
And then they lost.
I agree.
So there's a difference. Like, yeah, D-Wade got them to the first round and they lost. But if you look at the longevity...
They were one step away from the finals. What are you talking about?
Not with the year LeBron left.
No, not when.
Yeah, not the year LeBron left. The year LeBron left, the Miami Heat weren't even discussion. That's what I'm saying. Look at all the teams that he played on. He left. When he left, the teams went downhill. They were dismantled. Cleveland Cavaliers, there was no jobs. When he left Cleveland, there was no jobs. Come on, man. He's the most powerful player in the NBA. Michael Jordan left from Chicago. There were still jobs. People were still working. All that type of stuff.
Right.
LeBron leaves Cleveland and people don't have jobs? Come on, man. So you can't keep sitting here saying that Michael Jordan is this GOAT. Michael Jordan was great.
Michael Jordan is the GOAT, though.
He,
Michael Jordan has influenced.
He's one of the GOATs. Okay, yeah, I'm going to say, but I can't call him the GOAT. I can't call him the GOAT.
Yeah,
because LeBron James has done stuff that Michael Jordan didn't even have to worry about doing.
Here's a question for you then. Is there such thing as being two GOATs?
Yeah.
So there it is. So then Why can't Michael Jordan?
Mike can be the GOAT, but people have to stop disrespecting LeBron James and say.
It's not. I don't think it's a disrespect.
I think it's a total disrespect.
I don't think it's a
Because-
disrespect. I think it's a disrespect to Michael at the end
Nah,
of
it's
the
not
day.
disrespect to Michael.
Because it's like-
again, Michael had one of the 50 greatest on his team for 12 years, man. Like he had Scottie Pippen on his team for how long? How long was Scottie Pippen on the Chicago Bulls? Michael Jordan.
I would say the Wolverines.
Thank you. You know, they just did a show, man. They did a whole show
But I'm just
on that Chicago Bulls
on
team.
the Last Dance.
That's what it's the last day they did a show on that joint.
Right.
So yeah, he had great players, man. I mean, so like yeah, he's good. I mean, he's great, but he had help. LeBron James didn't have help for 9 years.
It was also the system.
And was still
The
taking
system was-
taking bums to the finals. As I always say, he was taking bums to the finals.
Without Michael Jordan, they don't get to the finals. They don't get to none of those finals without Michael.
They went to the Eastern Conference Finals when he retired.
Listen to what I said. The finals. They don't get to the final in none of the 6 that they win. They don't get to none of that without Michael Jordan. Let's keep that 100.
I may say that, but I mean,
It ain't no made nothing. It ain't no made nothing. If Michael Jeffrey Jordan is not on the Chicago Bulls, let's say he played for the New York Knicks, the Chicago Bulls are non-existent just about, man.
Nah, I'm not saying non-existent. You can't say that because Scottie already proved that he could take that team to the Eastern Conference Finals. So they're not non-existent. They may not have won titles. They might not have 6 titles, but they would have been in contention in the East for who knows how many years.
They've been content.
Like Scottie wasn't young. He wasn't a young Scottie when he took that team.
Faded away.
He wasn't a young Scottie when he took that team to the Eastern Conference
They
Finals.
would have faded away. They would have faded away. Because again, Scotty.
He was
Let me
an
put it like
agent-
this.
he
Let
was
me put it
an
like
agent-
this.
he was an
I'm
agent
gonna put two games in a comparison on how Michael reacted and how Scotty reacted. And there's no knock on either one. How did Michael react with the quote unquote flu game? Put up numbers, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
What happened when Scotty had a migraine against Detroit?
He did have a good game.
He got exactly my point.
Yeah.
Like, Michael is a whole different breed, yo. Like, he shut that out and still was able to play and put numbers up.
Yeah, but
Like,
but we also wanted to go back to now, yo. I'm making $8 million, and then I'm sick. I'm not playing.
Michael would not do that.
Michael wasn't making $8 million. You know what I mean?
Michael was making way more than $8 million.
That's my point. I'm trying to say. Like, you're Michael Jordan, and you're making $15 million, yo, and they keep screwing my contract. I got a migraine. I'm not playing.
Nah, that's
You know, just like the last, you watched the Last Dance.
yeah. So
Scotty's
you're-
contracts was getting screwed, man.
So you're telling me
So I'm
you're
not
on the
playing.
break. You're on the brink of going to the NBA Finals. You have a migraine. The first thing you're going to think about is I'm not getting paid.
Yeah, I'm not playing.
Oh, stop it! Stop it!
Not playing.
Stop it! Stop it!
Mike's the greatest. I don't get my
You've
credit.
heard many.
Listen, Mike's the greatest. I don't get my credit. So I'm not playing.
Man, stop it! Man, stop it!
No.
Man, stop it!
That's how it is, man.
Man, stop it!
That's how it is.
Man, stop it. All right, I'm gonna throw you a little loop here. I was watching All the Smoke.
Yeah.
That joint hot.
That joint is nice. That joint is nice. I like that.
And I was watching it with Shaq was the guest, and Shaq was saying, you know, how we all reflect on it, like, you know, if I had the mind frame I have now, I would have done blah blah blah.
Yeah. We all
do.
say that.
So like, Shaq goes to the point of saying, like, if he would have put ego aside, him and Kobe would have probably won 7. With that said, let's say they won 7, is Kobe in this talk too?
Nah, not in this talk.
And why?
They won 7. I mean, I don't. To me personally, I love Kobe Bryant to death. I mean, he's a great player once again too. I mean, he has 5 titles. 3 of them were with the most dominant center in the NBA, man. When you have a guy that gets doubled every play, how hard is it to score? If I had the most dominant 7 foot, 350 pound guy in the paint, and I could dump it down to him, and 2 or 3 guys run at him, and I'm wide open. I mean, I would have 25 points a game myself. Just leave me in the corner and I just shoot a 3. I mean,
but that wasn't Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant was a freaking monster.
No, Kobe was a monster. You're right. But what I'm saying is, it's a lot easier to score when you have a dominant center that's creating mismatches and double teams and things like that. You know what I mean? But he did show himself when Shaq left and he won 2 with Pau Gasol and those guys. Because that's when I really started giving Kobe a lot of his respect. Was to say, like, okay, like, he didn't have Shaq now and he went 1-2.
All right, I can see what you mean with that.
You know what I mean? So I didn't give him any at all. But then I had to start being the sports guru. I had to go back and look at it and say, you know what? He won with Pau Gasol, Lamar Odom, and those type of guys. So I said, you know what? I got to give him his props to the fact that, you know what I mean, Kobe's that guy. But those first 3, I mean, Kobe did his thing on the first 3 too. He wasn't scoring 8 and 10. But like I said, when you have the most dominant player in the world at 7 foot 350, and you're dumping it down to him, he's creating double teams and all types of stuff.
He's going to do it all,
and it's creating open lanes and open shots and things for you. It's not really that hard for you to score. I felt he had to score. It was harder for him to score when he didn't have Shaq, when he had Pau Gasol, Lamar Odom, and those guys, than it was when he had Shaq.
All right.
So he opened the wave up for him a little bit.
Let me give you two more last questions, and we'll ride out on these. Name a player that if barred they weren't injured or controversy would be mentioned in one of the greats. If he didn't get injured, he didn't have controversy, he would be mentioned as one of the greats. He didn't need to be great. He could be one. He could be like a real good. Like back in his day, this guy could have been a great superstar if he didn't get injured. He was good, but he got injured. I'm asking you.
Oh, you're asking me?
Mine would be like a Brandon Roy out of Portland.
No, I might go with.
He's thinking hard.
I am thinking hard. I'm thinking
Real hard.
Thinking real hard. You know, I'm gonna go with Tracy McGrady.
Good one.
If Tracy McGrady didn't get hurt, and I say this, and I'm gonna say this, and I know there might be a lot of backlash to this, but if Tracy McGrady doesn't get hurt, there may not be a Kobe Bryant.
Let me throw this person out there. What about if Penny didn't get hurt?
Penny Hardaway, the same thing. Penny doesn't get hurt, there might not be a Kobe Bryant, man. Penny was that guy, but Penny just ended up getting hurt, you know.
Yeah. I would go with
Dominant
those
Shaq.
three. Those three.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would go Brandon. I mean, it wouldn't in no order.
Yeah, no order.
Brandon Roy,
but yeah.
Tracy McGrady,
And Penny Hardaway.
Penny Hardaway.
Absolutely.
I agree with that. Well, I got one more for you. I mean, I'm not going to break out the pod deck because there's a question out there that's floating out in the music world right now, in the hip hop world. There's a song called "Sorry Not Sorry." You know who they are. You know who those artists are. Who had the better verse? Who had the better verse, man? Who had the better verse?
Well, you know, man. You know how I am, man. I'm a guy. I think Nas ripped Hope on Ether, man. So I still gotta go with my guy Nas, man. You know what I mean? Like when your bars are that hard on Ether to another grown man, I mean, I just gotta go with that, man. And some of the things that Jay-Z's about, and I just don't really fool with Hope like that. So you know what I mean? I'm just always gonna go with Nas.
You gotta listen to it.
I listen to it, you know.
So many entendres on it.
Jay-Z's bars are
Masterpiece.
Yeah, Jay-Z's bars.
Both of them.
Jay-Z's bars are pretty nice. You know what I mean? But just there's something about Jay-Z that I just can't get down with. So therefore, I gotta rock with my guy Nas all day. NAS. Letters that spell.
Crypto face, Scarface.
It was written.
I know that's right.
Yeah, I mean.
Got any shout outs, my guy?
You know how it is, man. Just got to shout out once again. Shout out my girls' basketball team, Harrisburg Lady Cougars.
Cougars!
You know, shout out to the young local artists around here. Yo, my guy Benny Hondo. Album drops in a couple days. Make sure y'all go check it out, Benny Hondo. That's basically it, man. You know what I mean? Just not gonna have too many more shout outs.
Yo, go check out M. Wade. You already know what it is. You already go get it on that jukebox. You already know how it is. Yo, shout out to Boomer Proctor, man. You know that Summer League's about to pop off.
Oh yeah.
BMD Summer League.
Shout out to my man Boom. Yeah, I mean he's doing a lot of good things in the community. I know the shout out to my young boy Mari Young also. He's the sports director at the Salvation Army. So he runs a youth program on Tuesdays and Thursdays for the youth to play basketball. I know Boomer Proctor, I know he helps out with that, you know, give the youth something to do, keep them off the street. So I just want to give a shout out to him also. Shout out to my whole crew.
My God. Yo, shout out to everybody that's out there. Keep masking up, y'all. Y'all know we're around that corner, man. You already heard about CDC. You already heard if you didn't hear a CDC saying, you know, if you're vaccinated, you can unmask, baby. You can unmask outdoors, man. That's what it is, man. Hey, yo. I'm vaccinated, dog.
That's good, man. Make sure people that get vaccinated, make sure you do your research and things like that.
Yeah, hey, man. Hey, you know, keep safe. Keep safe out there, y'all. And y'all know what it is. Thanks for chopping it up, man.
You already know.
You already know what it is. I'm here with Malibu Mooch, man. You know what it is. Well, next on the show, I'm gonna give y'all a special guest, man. We're gonna turn around and let's do the CLA thing one time, just one time. You know what I mean? I'm gonna bring my guys from CLA to Tribe, and we're gonna chop it up about our two-time championships. We're gonna go with little memories, you know what I mean, and what went down on that time. You know?
Two-time champ.
Two-time champs, man. I mean, shoot, could have been 3 if it wasn't. They can shut down the league.
I just got one quick question though.
What?
Can you guys make sure that you explain that it was in the B League?
It doesn't matter.
For 40-year-old men.
It does not matter. Hey, I'm 40, so that doesn't matter.
Thank you very much.
Doesn't matter. Hey, I was hooping regardless. You already know I'm hooping regardless.
Thank you very much.
Hey, I was hooping regardless, dog. You already know. But you already know what it is. Shout out to everybody that's out there. But you want to know something? If you have any thoughts, questions, or concerns, hit me up at the number one, SkyBoxx at gmail.com. If you're on your favorite podcast app or YouTube, all you have to do is search the SkyBoxx. And if you're on YouTube, hit that like and subscribe button. It's only $3.99. And if you're on Facebook, search me, Michael C. or Michael Curtis, Micheal Curtis. Again, my name is Michael C. And this is the SkyBoxx, the source of life over the mic. And also, be good to yourself, y'all. Go to YouTube. Hit that like and subscribe button. It's only $3.99. $3.99? Are we only on YouTube?